Hey there, what's up? I don't know if you can really tell, I'm a little sick at the moment. There has just been a sudden shift in weather where I live. It came out of nowhere, and it's hitting me hard. That's why this video has taken so long to get out. I'm so sorry about that. I've been so sick. You know, I left part 1 on a cliffhanger, a really annoying cliffhanger, and you're welcome for that. I know you all hate me. Part 2, it picks up literally right where I left off there. So I just wanted to introduce this so it's not weird. Thank you all for watching part 1. I appreciate you all watching part 2. If you enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit the bell to notify when my next uploads. Jesus, enjoy the video. I'm dying, please. You remember Midnight Motorist, that minigame that literally no one has been able to figure out? I think I figured it out. When we come upon this house, it looks an awful lot like the FNAF 4 house. The outside looks a lot like it does in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 menu, but inside is nothing like the house. Now, I believe Scott was just trying to place a link in people's minds between Midnight Motorist and the FNAF 4 game by making that similarity extremely present, just so it's in the back of their mind. Hey there, editing Ethan, back again. Another thing I wanted to explain is Scott has said multiple times that Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator is supposed to be a game that ties up loose ends, not create more questions. When we have this minigame that we thought just created more questions, it's obviously not supposed to. It is supposed to just tie up loose ends nice and neat. So obviously we are supposed to be able to solve this minigame. We are supposed to be able to have the answers in front of us. And my thing is, what loose end could Scott be trying to tie up with Midnight Motorist? A lot of people theorize that the minigame is related to Charlie being killed, which is completely fair. I 100% see that. My thing is though, there's no loose end to tie up there. We already see her death in the security puppet minigame. Why would we need to continue? Let's just keep looking at it from an Afton point of view. It doesn't tie up any loose ends that are related to the Aftons. You know, it doesn't show anything about the mother. It doesn't show anything about Elizabeth. It doesn't show anything about Michael. And I'm only bringing up those two because they're the only two kids that we know are his. The only loose end I could see this tying up is what FNAF 4 actually was. When you have that minigame that is obviously linked to FNAF 4, with the older brother sitting in there, we can tell from his gray shirt and the gray text, and you have the FNAF 4 house, especially when that's one of the things that's had like the biggest debates about it. You know, things like Dream Theory, things like we play as Michael hallucinating his guilt of killing his younger brother. We play as the crying child hallucinating after being bitten. There's been so much discourse that he hasn't resolved yet, up until this point. But yeah, that's enough from me. I'm gonna let y'all get back to past Ethan with his goofy little Santa hat. Enjoy the video. When you walk inside the house, you're greeted by somebody sitting in front of the TV, and they say, "Leave him alone tonight. He had a rough day." Rough day where? School, maybe? When you try to go into the room, it's obvious that you're playing as a character who isn't the best parent, as you threaten that he'll be sorry when he gets back, and you are banging on the door screaming just because the door's locked. If you go around at the back of the house, what do you see? A broken window and footsteps running away from the house, along with a set of paw prints from a three-toed figure. There are a few details that match Rory and Dittophobia. If you don't know who Rory is or what Dittophobia is, go watch part 1. You know, the fact that he hates schools, and the older brother says he had a bad day, possibly at school, because he hates school. I mean, you know, has a bad home life. That is so present in this minigame. You know, the broken window and the footsteps running away from the house. The kid ran away from home. I do not think that the crying child and Rory are one and the same at all. Okay, I am just calling out similarities and parallels between the two, not saying they're the same. With that out of the way, let me set the scene. The crying child was at his birthday party when his older brother and his friends decided to pull a prank on him. They lift him up and carry him through the air towards the animatronic bear performing on stage. They set him in his mouth thinking it'd be the best prank ever, and the bear bites down, causing major head trauma to him. He's treated for his head trauma immediately and is hooked up to an IV and given pills to help the pain and recovery. Miraculously, he survives. This sudden near-death experience causes the brother's attitude to change towards his little brother, making him plead for his parental figure to leave him alone, taking into consideration how bad of a day he's had, something he never would have done before the bite. Due to his brother's ignorance, his home life has become increasingly worse, causing him to run away after he sees a yellow bunny outside his window, luring him to what he promises to be a better life. He'd do anything for that. After luring him away from home, William is safe to put the child into his experiments in the fake home that he has built. Then, we enter the story of Dittophobia. Once William is finished with his experiments, he pushes the limits on how far a person can go when exposed to so much of carbon monoxide, and he watches as the child fades out of his mind. However, he speaks through the Fredbear plush that he uses to help convince the child that he was at home. He mocks him. "We are still your friends. Do you believe that? I will put you back together." and he will put him back together in his future experiments on Remnant and how to better understand the idea of souls and agony. I mean, is it as captivating as a father's revenge due to, his child dying? No, but it's kind of what I'm getting out of this. Let me explain the majority of that. The reason that I believe that the bite victims survived originally is due to the pills being present in the first place. In many coma patients, it's been found that sleeping pills such as zolpidem activates dormant brain tissue next to the damaged tissue, and somewhat restoring consciousness to coma patients, therefore giving the pills a purpose. I also believe that him surviving gives a good explanation to the older brother's sudden change in attitude. He's all of a sudden somewhat sympathetic towards the kid. Before, as whenever he was scaring him over and over again and, lifted him into an animatronic mouth, him being the cause of him almost dying caused him to switch in his mind. I'm aware that it's raining in the minigame, meaning William can't be out there in the Bonnie Springlock suit. He'd get killed immediately, which is why I don't think he was in the Springlock suit. As Phone Guy states in FNAF 3, the suits were retired after a Springlock failure, which we can assume to be the bite of 83, considering he refers to the incident happening at a sister location, which would be Fredbear's. Because of this, William couldn't use the suit to lure the kid. He knows how sensitive the Springlocks are now. He's too smart to fall into his own trap. So he had to use his older costume, the one that he made at the very start, the hand-sewn glitch trap suit. I think a lot of people forget that suit very well could have also been used to kill children. We do see that suit luring us at the end of FNAF VR, and the suit does have 3 toes, so it still fits. Okay, I learned from the best. I count my toes and buttons. The biggest issue I believe there is with this entire theory is, what's the death scene in FNAF 4 then? I can tell you, I don't think you're gonna like it, but I can tell you. As I mentioned earlier, carbon monoxide exposure comes with a ton of effects, the main one being hallucinations. Combining that with head trauma and you'd get some crazy results. William isn't afraid to kill a kid. What's he supposed to do whenever he's done? He can't just let them go. They know everything. People would come looking for him. He has to dispose of them after these experiments somehow. Long-term exposure to carbon monoxide can obviously lead to death, and in this case, it did. However, the child is still somewhat able to understand what's happening due to the sleeping pills, activating the dormant tissue in his brain. And it's less of a immediate death, it's more of a slow fade, kind of losing consciousness death. And he sees his plush friends slowly fade away from him, and his best friend Fredbear makes a promise to him. However, it's no delightful promise, but one of eternal grief and torture. I know this was a lot, and it throws out everything we thought we knew. It's a theory that I think I have put together well, and no matter the reception to it, I'm proud of it. It's my first fully fleshed out theory that I don't have too many doubts in. Even if it's not right, whatever. I don't mind. I don't do these things to try to be right. I do them because I see evidence, I research the evidence, I follow it, and this is where it gets me. I just had a lot of fun doing this, and I have a lot of fun doing it every single time. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and please get out your pitchforks and torches for me in the comments. Can't wait to see them. Please remember, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit the bell to get notified of my next uploads. And thank you guys a lot. Please make sure to take care of yourselves, and have a great day.